My name is Dominic Parisi. I've been throwing parties in Kent, Akron, Cleveland area for 6 or 7 years now.
I'm Evan Bailey. I'm the communications director for SFX Disco Donnie Presents. I also DJ a lot in Kent under the stage name Evan Evolution.
I started out playing in Kent my first year here or so, and that was at a place called the Robin Hood, which some of you guys might remember. And things were pretty interesting there, but it was definitely more of like a hip-hop type of vibe, and even the abridged version of how I ended up at 157 and then in Cleveland. I met this gentleman by the name of Jeffrey Guska doing one of Campus Point's pool parties, and he told me they were opening up a new club downtown and what the vibe was, like what kind of music they liked. It was a little out of my element, but definitely seemed exciting. So I went and I checked it out. They got a hold of me. I met a guy named Evan Bailey who sort of turned me on to electronic music at the time. This is 3 or 4 years ago now. And then just from playing here, you know, you meet different people, and I ended up in Cleveland. I played at a place called Liquid now too, and we do lots of fun events there.
I started DJing in about the middle of college. At the time I was in a band, so it was an element of the band. And within a year or two, probably by 1999, I was just DJing by itself, not in a band or anything. About a year later, I started my own club night here in Kent, and slowly kind of outgrew the venue. We moved to another venue. We started playing other shows around here. More regionally, areas like Youngstown and Toledo and Pittsburgh.
The sort of events I aspire to play in the future definitely would be on a much larger scale than what I'm doing now. I mean, now, you know, I've done some very cool things. Like, for example, I played Flash Fest the past couple of years, and one of the years was the biggest crowd I ever played to. I got to open up for Mike Posner and Wale when they came, and that was to, you know, 3,000 people or something. And I remember being so overwhelmed, you know, and I know that doesn't sound like a lot of people, but when you're looking at all of them and they're all looking right back at you, it's really, really sort of indescribable of like how that feels. But I would definitely like to play, ideally, you know, any big festivals that come through Cleveland. I know right now there's a lot of talent out there, so if I can get, you know, opening sets, if I can get worked in anywhere, I'd love to play a festival. I'd love to play, you know, a massive club. You know, I'd like to play, for example, like a Studio Paris in Chicago, or like a Pasha or something, you know, one of these like super clubs. I think would be a really awesome experience. But 2013 for me is definitely, at least so far, been about rebranding sort of. I'm now going under, I was under the moniker DJ D Breezy was my name. And you know, now I'm using just my name, so I think it's sort of a natural progression and sort of a maturity in the way I play, the things I like to do. But yeah, I'd love to play, you know, definitely a festival or something on a much grander scale for, you know, thousands of people instead of, you know, 1,000 or 2,000 people.
DJing in Kent's changed a lot over maybe the last half decade. I mean, there's always, the interesting thing about electronic music is there's always sort of been an underground or a home for it here in Kent. The crowds have waxed and waned like anything. You know, I guess in the mid sort of 2000s, you know, hip hop was very popular, and that was something people wanted to hear a lot of. But in the last 2 or 3 years, electronic has started to chart more nationally, and therefore people are interested in it during college. I've always noticed that college students tend to become more interested in that format after they graduate, move to metropolitan areas, start going to bigger clubs and not so much bars and pubs and those sort of things. But we're starting to see it earlier now, and it seems to have more legs. So it's an exciting time to play electronic music.
I think the most rewarding part of what I do is seeing people having fun and providing a good experience or a memorable evening for people. My favorite part of the night is definitely seeing people having as much fun as I am when I'm up there and I'm playing. That it's very rewarding to see everyone having a good time.
The most rewarding part of playing music, specifically electronic music, is sort of how it makes you feel when you realize that you've created an environment where thousands, if not tens of thousands, people are enjoying what you created, and it's sort of it becomes almost this organism. Everybody sort of seems connected, and it's kind of that aha moment, at the event when months and weeks of planning kind of come together and everybody's sort of together and connected, and it's not even about who's on stage, it's just about this sort of, the event itself kind of becomes alive, and to me that's the most rewarding part.